Imagine being forced to crawl across a hotel hallway. Every command, every breath, every movement could decide whether you live or whether you die. For Daniel Shaver, just 26 years old, a father of two, this wasn't a nightmare. It was reality, and the world would witness his final moments through the cold, unblinking eye of a police body camera.
Welcome to Crime Logic, where every mystery has a method and every story hides a truth. Tonight, we dive into another chilling case you won't forget.
Mesa, Arizona, January 18th, 2016. A simple call to police about someone allegedly pointing a rifle from a hotel window would spiral into one of the most controversial and heartbreaking police encounters ever recorded. What unfolded that night in a narrow La Quinta Inn hallway wasn't just a police operation. It was a psychological torture test, a game of survival with impossible rules, and Daniel Shaver was destined to lose. Daniel was no criminal. He was a pest control worker, demonstrating air rifles used in his job. A young man, goofy, kind-hearted, and deeply loved by his wife and his two little daughters. On business in Arizona, staying in a hotel far from home, Daniel had no idea his life was about to end in a way no family should ever have to see. Around 9 p.m., a hotel guest called police. The report: a man pointing a rifle out of his fifth-floor hotel window. That man was Daniel, but the so-called rifle was nothing more than a pellet gun, part of his work equipment. And the story behind it? Daniel had been showing it off, drunkenly, foolishly, to two acquaintances he had met earlier that evening. Yet when officers arrived, they didn't see a harmless demonstration. They saw a potential active shooter. The following footage is among the most controversial police bodycam videos ever released. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. What you're about to see is not just a case file. It is the final moments of a young man whose death shocked the world. Officers responded to a call of a man reportedly pointing a rifle out of a hotel window. That man was Daniel Shaver. But what happens next would change everything. Watch closely. Daniel is terrified. You can hear it in his voice. Crying, pleading for his life. He tries to follow commands, but the instructions keep changing. Hands up. Crawl forward. Don't move your hands. The fear is written all over him. And then, in a split second, Daniel reaches toward his waistband, possibly to pull up his shorts. The officer believes it's a gun. 5 shots ring out. In an instant, Daniel Shaver is gone. He never had a weapon, only a pellet gun left in the hotel room. This bodycam footage sparked outrage, debates about police training, and a trial that many believe delivered no justice. To this day, the name Daniel Shaver remains a symbol of a system where fear, miscommunication, and deadly force collided. On the witness stand sits Philip Brailsford, the officer who pulled the trigger. For the first time, the jury and the world hear his version of events. Brailsford's voice is steady, but his words carry the weight of life and death. He insists he followed his training, that Daniel Shaver's movements looked like a threat, that in that split second, he believed he had no choice but to fire. But as the testimony unfolds, a haunting question lingers. Was this truly the perspective of a cop fearing for his life, or the justification of a man who had just gunned down an unarmed, sobbing father of two? Every pause, every tremble in his voice is not just evidence, it's a battle for his freedom. And as the jurors watch, the world outside the courtroom wonders. Can words ever erase the image of Daniel crawling, begging, pleading moments before the gunfire?
As we know, the camera is mounted on the bridge of my glasses to the right, so the camera is only going to be able to see whatever field of vision that the camera has, as wide as the lens goes. I still have, my left eye and my right eye can still see all of this other stuff going on. My field of view is much, much larger than 5.5 feet in this hallway.
Mr. Shaver?
No, sir, I could very clearly see him the entire time.
And the reason you swung your eyes slightly to the right was?
I was beginning to glance towards the other threat area, the doorway, because we didn't know if there was still another person in there, but I never lost sight of Mr. Shaver.
For Daniel's family, these words could never balance the silence left behind.
And why did you prepare for this trial?
I'm on trial for murder. This is very serious, and I need to be as prepared as I can be for it.
This moment isn't just about one officer. It's about a system that often shields those in uniform, leaving grieving families with more questions than answers. Every word Brailsford says here matters, not just to Daniel's widow and daughters, but to every future case where an officer pulls the trigger. In this final moment, his words carry the weight of a life already lost.
My hope was that no lethal force was going to be needed at all.
That everything would go smoothly?
Exactly. That things would go smoothly, the individuals in question would be secured, and then the investigation could take place.
The officer's final words hang heavy. Was it fear in the line of duty, or a tragic abuse of power? Now the jury must decide.
Sworn in the above entitled action and upon our oaths, do find the defendant Philip Brailsford on the charge of count 1, second-degree murder, not guilty.
For Daniel's family, no verdict could heal the wound. His widow and 2 young daughters were left to pick up the shattered pieces of their lives. They received a settlement from the city, but no amount of money can replace a father, a husband, a son. The killing of Daniel Shaver raised deep questions. Should officers bark impossible commands at unarmed civilians? Where is the line between law enforcement and cruelty? And most importantly, who pays the price when the system fails? Daniel's case remains one of the most haunting examples of what happens when fear, authority, and poor judgment collide. The camera didn't lie. It showed us the truth raw, painful, unforgettable. Daniel Shaver's last words were cries for mercy, but mercy never came. His story is more than tragedy. It is a reminder that behind every police command, every bullet fired, is a human life. And Daniel's life should have never ended that night.
If you enjoyed watching this thrilling crime story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.